What's up, YouTube? I just want to make a video showing how to edit a GitHub Gist using Pi GitHub. I saw a couple comments on the internet about how this was difficult to do, and I also had some difficulty doing it myself, so I thought I'd make a step-by-step process just showing you how to do this from the beginning. So to start off, what is a gist? Basically, GitHub doesn't let you put your code, your text, whatever you have on your GitHub into other websites using, say, an iframe, which is basically just taking a website and then displaying it within another website. So in order to get around this, GitHub created their own system called gists. So you can just type whatever you want inside of these this gist.github.com. So let's say hello YouTube, and then you just push create public gist right here. And now you have a gist that you can embed inside of websites. So I have an example website right here, the code for which is right here, if you guys want to pause and look at that. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the gist that I just created and I'm going to put it on this website. So I'm going to go to my notepad, I'm going to paste in that embed code that I just got. Alright, so I'm going to save this, I'm going to refresh that example page I just showed you. So now it says hello YouTube, I spelled it wrong apparently. And it has a link to the gist right here, as well as a link to GitHub right here. Alright, so that's helpful for displaying static code if you just want to have a one-time message. What if you want to update that code? What if you want to, say, every time you have a system running, have it say on the website that you're monitoring, or say off if it's not? You can dictate this using Python code. Using the library Pi GitHub, which is right here, and I'll have a link to this inside the description as well. So the instructions for how to use Pi GitHub, the very basic beginnings of it, is right here, which I'll then show you inside of some code that I've already written. So starting from the top, you have to import GitHub, import GitHub. That's just talking about Pi GitHub, and to add Pi GitHub into your project, you're going to go to settings inside of PyCharm. Then go to Python interpreter underneath project, and then add it. So just type in Py GitHub. I already have it installed, so I'm not going to push the install package button, but if you don't, just push that, and then that's going to install that library for you. Alright, so scrolling down, we're going to get to define printed, which is just a function, and this threading timer, which if you import threading, it lets you run this function based on just whatever this integer right here is. So this is currently set to 5 seconds. You can change it to 10 seconds. You can change it to 50 seconds. Any integer. I'm going to leave it at 5 for the sake of this example. Then we're just defining a variable. I named it pain. And that's referencing out here, which has a default value of 0. This is just adding 1 to that variable. And then we get down to g equals GitHub with parentheses around it. And what does that mean? If we go back to the Pi GitHub website, on this README, it says G equals GitHub, parentheses, quotation marks, access token. So if you've never used an access token before, basically it's a way for you to access GitHub APIs without using your username and password. So in order to create one, you're going to have to go to your GitHub profile. Then you're going to go to settings after tapping your little icon on the top right. Scroll down to developer settings, and then you're going to tap personal access tokens. I'm going to generate a new token, and for the sake of this, I'm going to just call it YouTube. Expired inside 7 days. You can set it 30, 60, 90, customer, just no expiration ever. The shorter is generally better if you're just doing it for testing purposes. If you're going to be a long-term deploy, then no expiration date makes more sense. You can just choose the stuff that you need. Inside this case, I'm just going to click everything in order to show you how the system works. I'm going to select all of these. Alright, then I'm going to push generate token at the bottom. And this part's very important. Whenever you refresh this website, this code is not going to be able to be seen ever again. So you got to copy it now and put it where we're going to use it, or else you've lost it. You're going to have to delete it and you're going to create a new one. So I'm going to go back to the PyCharm, and I'm going to insert my access token, just like it talked about on the website. Right here. Alright, so quotation marks around it, then paste it in. Now we go down inside the code and it says gist equals g.getGist. So you got to put here is the URL to the gist. Not the entire URL, but just this part of it at the end. So this is my GitHub username, then /gist, and that colon, but after the colon you're going to copy and then paste in this line of numbers and letters. So within quotation marks again, paste that, and this is just calling gist edit, and then the file, and then string.pane. So pane, the variable, is an integer. In order to actually write this to the gist, it's only really accepting strings. So we're just taking the pane variable and converting it to a string using the str, and then inside of parentheses pane, the variable. Right here it says print pane, so all that's going to do is it's going to print inside the terminal here the value of pane every time that it gets a loop. And this print it is just an infinite loop where it's just going to continuously call a function after 5 seconds. So I'm going to push the play button. As you can see down here, it now says 1. So I'm going to leave this over here on the right. I'm going to go up here to the gist that we created. Alright, so as you can see, currently it says hello YouTube. If I push the refresh button, it should reflect the value that's being put out by the Python code right here. So if we're going to push refresh, now it says 5. What's also cool is if we go to the example website I showed you earlier and then push refresh, it's going to show the values shown here. So now it shows 8. So like I said earlier, you can use this for, say, if a system's on or off, and display that to a website that you can then access from anywhere on Earth. Currently I'm using Cloudflare Pages in order to display my local website as a global website, and I have a tutorial on my YouTube channel to show you how to get that set up. Another example for how this could be useful is, say, a parking system. So for a project that I'm working on, I have a machine vision system looking at parking spots to see if there's cars inside of it or not. And I'm using GitHub Gist in order to show the number of spots and display that on a website that people can use. So you can scan a QR code and then you can look on your phone to see whether or not that parking lot has open spots or if you should just avoid it entirely. So that's just one use of it. I hope that was helpful. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I'm gonna try to post some of the code and the links that I've used in order to describe this. One thing to make note of, don't share your GitHub access token. I'm going to be deleting the one that I created right after this video, but if you share that around, like on Stack Overflow or something, people can get access to your account. They can delete everything, and they can post whatever they want on your GitHub account on your behalf. So just don't share that around. Be very careful with those. Thank you.